365 Sports.
Un, Unbelievable. After the
Unbelievable.
year the Indiana sports has had.
Yeah. After the loss in the finals,
By the
the
Pacers.
the run that the Fever had cut short after the Colts' great start of the season, finally,
It's
IU
Indiana
Hoosier,
football that brings it out.
which out of all things is kind of crazy.
Crazy. And
Mm.
now they are the only team in the modern era to have an undefeated men's basketball season and an undefeated football season.
Yes.
Happened 50 years apart from each other, those two things.
Yeah,
So,
I pretty historic.
yeah, it's hard to say anything other than that. But here's the deal. I'm Kevin, and he's Liam, and we are the Unstable Blues. Happy to present 365 Sports as part of the 365 Sports Network.
Welcome back to this episode. We will go through the first national championship win for the Indiana Hoosier football team. Yes, first, not last. The great ups and downs of the game, the culmination of an absolutely unfathomable season, and the hopes that it can continue as we go all in.
Yes, you can follow us on TikTok and Instagram at 365 Sports Indiana. And don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube or wherever you get your podcasts. It's time to go through one of my. This is going to be one of my favorite
greatest football games in IU history.
And I gotta pause this and say that I've talked to several people who had no skin in the game. Right? They weren't going for either of the teams, but of course, maybe they were going a little bit more for Indiana because they knew me, or I mean, it was
Underdog story.
It was basically South Florida that was going for Miami, and then the rest of the country was going for IU.
Essentially, yeah.
But they were like, this was one of the best national championship games in the history of the game.
Yeah, it was a very enjoyable game.
And also now, to back up more of what we said all season, the Big Ten has won not one, not two, but the last three national champions from the Big Ten.
They have indeed.
All right, let's go through the narrative.
Yes, the game started as a defensive battle with the teams just trading punts away.
Yes, Indiana sprinkled in a field goal before putting together an 85-yard drive featuring a 20-yard Kalon Black run and a 15-yard Charlie Becker catch, and capped by a Riley Nowakowski dive into the end zone. I think that was only his second or third carry all season.
Miami doinked a field goal. Very, very loud point. And then the Hoosiers seemingly squandered a potential opportunity by not utilizing all their timeouts, which the resulting drive led to a 10-0 halftime score.
Yeah, I didn't like that there wasn't more urgency in the use of timeouts.
I literally was talking to people and I was like, yeah, if they miss a field goal, you have it in pretty good field goal range. You'll need about 20, 25 more yards to get it into at least attempting for a kick range.
Right.
And the first play they came out and ran the ball, I'm like,
and they didn't call a timeout. It was a decent run, but they didn't even call a timeout. There was nothing.
No urgency.
Yeah, I didn't like that. But there were some other calls along the way that we'll get to. Indiana held the Hurricanes to the least amount of yards in that first half of any national championship game with only 86.
The second half was a different story as the Hoosiers couldn't get anything on their first drive, and Mark Fletcher Jr. scored on a 57-yard run for Miami. By the way, Fletcher is my favorite player on Miami. It's official. 2 touchdowns, running back as well, and his story is amazing.
Yeah, here's a look at that play.
Done. Great job corralling number 10, not letting him get loose. Fletcher breaks free. Mark Fletcher in a foot race. Miami touchdown.
Now, Isaiah Jones got caught up there, and number 1, their safety. Let's see. Let me look up the name just to make sure I get it right. No, see, that's not going to get me that. Is his name? I'm not getting it. Amari Farrell. There you go.
Gotcha.
So yeah, he kind of took a bad angle, got caught up in the middle, and so not great gap integrity from that one. But then the teams again played the field position battle, trading punts, and before I called this one in my head. It's not on record, but 2 punts before this one, I had an inkling. I was like, this seems like I think this could be a block opportunity here. Sure
They were
enough,
getting close earlier in the game.
Mikhail Kamara, of all people, the star defensive lineman, blocked a punt into the end zone, and the aforementioned Isaiah Jones jumped on it for a much-deserved score for him. Here's how it all unfolded.
Dylan Joyce back on. Blocked! Indiana blocks the punt and falls on it for a touchdown! Isaiah Jones on the recovery!
What a moment.
Yeah.
Yes. And then that. Still not pleased. Still not pleased. No matter what happens, never satisfied. So that amazing moment, we'll see if that ends up the never daunted moment. So what happened after that, sir?
Miami answered with a really nice touchdown drive of their own, but Indiana responded with a mix of run and pass before picking up a 4th and 5 with a 19-yard Becker grab to put them firmly inside field goal range.
Right. And then that, a few plays later, led to a 4th and 4 decision for Curt Cignetti from the 12-yard line. We sat there and we're like, okay, you kick a field goal, right? But they were out there, right?
Call timeout. Okay, we're sending out the field goal unit, just trying to, get the 5 yards. You send the offense back out there. Okay.
We were sitting there all just going, what? Oh no, what are we doing? You wait and just kick the field goal. That led to one of the most maybe iconic moments in all of sports, and definitely in the national championship game. Take a look.
Fernando keeps it himself. I'm going to run. Mendoza! Down! Fernando!
Like, putting your body on the line for your team. Like, that's what team football is about. They're
Yep.
flipping champs.
Yep. Oh my goodness. And credit to Pat McAfee on the call there, pulling out like a soccer kind of call there, and all of the different angles, and it sort of had an Elway moment to it. You don't remember that, but in the Super Bowl, he dove toward the end zone, got flipped as he was diving.
I know the play, but
Right.
I was not there to experience it.
But then also had a little bit, you'll know this one, a little bit of Andrew Luck vibes with the Chiefs, stretching it out Superman style, and putting his body on the line. And again, that wasn't the only time in the game that he did that. So,
yes.
yeah.
Not to be outdone, the Hurricanes answered right back with a Malachi Tony signature run.
Here's a look at that one.
He's got it on the pitch. Tony breaks free. Malachi Tony spinning, scoring.
Yeah, we don't need to look at that one anymore.
I had someone texting me the whole time. They're like, that whole drive, they're like, where's the IU defense? I was like, I honestly don't know. It looks non-existent.
Yeah, the Hoosiers then put together another good drive with another 19-yard Charlie Becker reception.
But playing the clock game and a false start penalty, Signetti decided to kick the safe field goal, which is exactly what I would have done to push the lead to 27-21 and force Miami to have to go the length of the field in 1 minute 42 with no timeouts.
Yes, the Hurricanes were given a gift of a rare penalty in the game for roughing the passer, which turned a 3rd and 15 into a 1st and 10, 15 yards ahead of where they were. What did you think of that Landino push move?
I screamed at the TV because I was like, what are we doing? We're going to call that, and I think it's appropriate to bring this up, and we're not going to call the Fernando one?
Right.
Fernando doesn't have the ball for two whole seconds, and you're going to go up and hit him.
Yep.
That specific Fernando play reminded me of a play where Jared Goff, back when whenever he was on the Lions after the Rams, he handed the ball off, but he faked that he was passing so well that the defender came up and still sacked him, and then started celebrating, and then he got a roughing the passer called on him because he's like, wait, what? He didn't have the ball. Kind of reminds me of that. Fernando faked it so well that he got hit for it, or they were just trying to hit him. I don't remember who it was from, but someone said that they were going after Fernando the entire game.
Oh, yeah.
Last year, whenever Miami played Cal, they did the same exact thing. They kept going after Fernando. There was a really dirty hit in that game as well. Go check that out if you want to see that. But that's been surfacing all over it. But the same guy who did the dirty hit on Fernando last year got ran over this year on that 4th and 5 run. So, which is more important?
Well, and I think it's funny because you don't remember this, but back in the day when it was Notre Dame versus Miami, it was Catholics versus convicts was the term that was brought up. And this year it was the Hicks versus the convicts. No matter which way you look at it, Miami is dirty. Yep. And we said going into it, it's swag versus discipline. And Miami showed their lack of discipline or lack of really even remorse or caring as they continue to go after and target IU players. But back to the Landino call. He hit him, but he didn't hit him with his helmet. He hit him where he needed to. And as he was going down, he let up. And Carson Beck was the one that sold it by flopping himself onto and probably maybe even giving himself a concussion there if you watch that carefully. Yes. Maybe should have been taken out of the game. But they went on.
Yeah, a few plays later, under a minute left in the game, about 50, 51, 52 seconds, Carson Beck went for the home run ball. It was picked off by the Miami kid, Jamari Sharp, for the Hoosiers, which his dad was the one who, back in 2002, I believe, had a defensive pass interference for the Miami Hurricanes that essentially lost them the game to Ohio State.
Right.
Really, really cool full circle moment. Instead of playing for Miami, he once again sealed the
Right.
deal against Miami.
Right.
It's funny, Big Ten against Miami.
Yep. The Sharps are really ready to seal the deal for the Big Ten in one shape or another. Check out the last play of glory.
Who will walk out of this stadium a national champion? Carson has felt the confetti before. Can he do it again for Miami? Takes a shot. Interception!
Yes!
Dang.
Yes! Oh.
Jamari Sharp says, give me that! And the Hoosiers of Indiana are your national champions in football.
After I saw, and one of my friends, his name's Kel, watching it, he said, "Oh, this is gonna be a pick." Before the play started, picked. I was like, I ran into my kitchen. I just fell on the ground. I was like, "There's no way. There's no way." And then I came back and I saw a flag. I was like, "Oh no!" And then, no, it was after the play. After the play, I was like, "Oh, thank goodness."
Oh,
It did make a little bit of trouble for them to actually be able to kneel it
Yeah.
down.
yeah.
And then they had to essentially sneak the last one. So
I don't have it on here, but you can go watch it on our channel. The video of me also calling turnover before it happened, and my celebration afterwards. Very intense IU moment because
yeah.
it's never happened. The hope of it has never happened. It's never been a sniff of a possibility, and in 2 years. 2 years, the program was flipped completely around. College football has now been completely flipped on its head, and everyone is wondering how they can replicate this turnaround, this coaching,
Dylan Joyce back on.
hold on, that. Everyone is wondering how they can do more of that and get that. How can we do that? What's the secret? From his own lips, there is no secret. The secret is good fundamentals, good
Hard work.
discipline, and having a system in place and never backing down from that.
That's what it takes to get a Cincinnati.
It is simple, and yet it is so difficult. The question then is Indiana here to stay? Before we get into that, let's talk through the stat sheet.
Yes, Fernando Mendoza, 16 for 27, 186 yards. So, pretty decent day.
But not
Rushing
great.
Yeah, not great. Rushing touchdown. What he lived to.
Yep. Kalen Black, 17 carries for 79 yards.
Roman Hemby, 60 on 19.
So that'd be over 100 for them total. Omar Cooper Jr., 5 catches for 71 yards.
Charlie Becker, in my opinion, the star wide receiver of this game because all of his catches were amazing. 65 yards on 4 catches.
And then Lewis Moore had 7 tackles.
Jamari Sharp, 6 tackles and an interception, or the game-sealing interception.
Yep. D'Angelo Pons, 5 tackles and 3 passes defensed. He was on fire.
Yep, and then Aiden Fisher, the guy that I called out, needed to have a big game, stepped it up. He had the lone sack.
Yes. So what were some of your intangibles that made this game fall into the Hoosiers' hands?
There were a couple times where I feel like the defense could have stepped up, should have stepped up, but didn't. But they stepped up whenever it mattered. Defense wins championships. The defense won the championship. The offense, the defense put the offense in good. The reason why there's not a ton of yardage or anything like that is because the offense did not need to do that. The defense put them in the right spots. So, and like, just once again, distributing the ball. It's Indiana football. That's what it is at this point. You just distribute the ball the entire time and making the ballsy moves. Those two fourth and fives. And like, okay, cool. There's three plays in particular I want to talk about. One,
Yep.
there's a 3rd and 8, crucial 3rd and 8. They run it up the middle with Kalon Black and they get the first down plus more. That was I was so excited with that play because I'm like, that's a great play. You don't see
Yep.
that happen very much. Great play. Another one, both the 4th and 5s, the Charlie Becker catch. Instead of going short across the middle just to barely get the first, no, we're gonna take a shot down the sideline. We trust our guy. We trust Charlie. We trust Fernando to make the throw. Wasn't even the greatest throw, honestly.
Yeah.
Charlie could have gotten a PI out of it, but once again, does not matter. Just like without Pierce, it does not matter. He's going to catch the ball. I don't. Whatever they have, I want that. And then, of course, the last fourth down of that drive, the Fernando Mendoza, just the effort. As soon as he got hit that first time after he got the first down, I'm like, okay, get down, get down, get down. And then I was like, never mind, my bad, get a touchdown.
Oh, okay. So, intangibles to me, the absolutely relentless, resilient effort and poise that they showed all game, just like their coach. Never satisfied, but never wavering, continuing to go to the next play and make the next play the best play that they could. And then we also said throughout the entire season that this team never made the same mistake twice this season. Meaning, within a game, you would never see them make that mistake in the next game.
Yep.
For instance, the very first game, the quarterback ran for 2 huge, long touchdown runs against a nothing Old Dominion, I think.
Yes.
But that never happened again, even when they were playing against very mobile quarterbacks. In this game, it was the same thing, but just in a smaller microcosm. They never made the same mistake twice in this game. Now, it wasn't to say that they didn't make mistakes. There were many mistakes. There was a mistake on the last defensive drive. Questionable, but it was. But you never saw them make the same mistake again within the game.
Yeah.
That's a winning program. Correcting the mistakes and moving forward, never to repeat them. So, with all that, what is your never daunted play of the game that switched everything?
There are so many you can choose from. While
Yep.
some of the game kind of felt stagnant, there's just so much that was like, yeah, that was an amazing play. I just witnessed that. But to me, it's you say never daunted. Like, how are you not going to choose the Fernando Mendoza touchdown? You're never daunted. You take a hit from 2 people at one time, and then you proceed to leap forward and take a massive hit on your back, and still hold on to the ball, still score a touchdown. That's just crazy.
We, not just we definitely, but the college football world will be talking about that play in decades from now. Maybe even 50 years from now, people will still look at that play as a quintessential moment in the college football world. Not just in this game, but because of what Indiana has done to shift the mentality within this new portal NIL world into, oh, well, if IU can do it, anybody can do it. The thought process is there, but can the actual execution actually be duplicated? I am not sure. We only time will tell on that, but That is a quintessential play. So you could say the Mendoza leap touchdown. You could say the Kamara later blocked punt. That was a huge moment. I almost would say that because it shifted a lot of different things. You could say, well, it wasn't over until the sharp attack pick, right? But my moment led to your moment, and that is the 4th and 5 Charlie Becker catch down the sideline that you mentioned. The ability, because it involves so many different things, the blocking up front, the throw on a wire to where only his guy could get it, right? But and the ability to contort his body so that he could catch it and still get his hip down in bounds before his back hit out of bounds or his hand or whatever. So much had to go so right on that play. Otherwise, you're giving up. You're giving the ball back to Miami almost at midfield. And so there's so much rode on that one moment that if you don't get that, so much changes. So to me, you know how I like to take these big things and break them way down. So to me, that is a moment in there that if you don't have that, you don't have a lot of other things. So that leads us to who your
Hoosier
star of the game is.
Man, last time this season. So many to choose from. Like, every part of me wants to say Fernando Mendoza because of how, like, we just keep talking about it, how crucial that play was.
Right. But he was only 59%. And
Exactly.
he actually had negative rushing yards on the day, even though he had that 12. Yeah.
So,
and no touchdowns thrown.
Yeah, his stats just couldn't back it up. And all the running backs really had a good day. I mean, I think I got to go to defensive player. And the guy who stepped up in every moment, just of this season. The 5'9" lockdown corner of D'Angelo Pons.
The Miami native.
I absolutely love the way he plays football. I hope he goes to a good team in this upcoming draft. I hope he gets drafted. It would be a shame if he doesn't just because of his height. He is so good at what he does. Like, watching him all season was very nice. The pick 6 in the Oregon game is not nearly talked about as enough as it should be because of it just instantly switched momentum in the game. The presence he had, because if the ball was getting thrown to him, I don't know the exact stats. Don't think people really caught it on him this game. And if the ball wasn't thrown to him, it's because he was locking down. Like, he was just so scary to throw the ball to just because he has the ability to pick the ball at all times at 5'9". So I think D'Angelo Pons, I haven't talked about him enough this season at all. I'm just awed in what he's done this season.
I love it. Well deserved. Mine is gonna be Big Play Becker. Charlie Becker.
Charlie B from Nashville, Tennessee.
Nothing but big plays. Like, he doesn't do anything small. He averaged, I think he averaged 16 yards per catch, and that's low for him, honestly. But once again, you talk about D'Angelo and being able to lock down. Well, he had to go against these guys in practice, and you know, when you have a receiving core as good as the Hoosiers do, Charlie Becker will not be intercepted.
Yeah, and and not even just this game either. You could take it back to the Oregon game with that snag that he had in the
Yep.
end zone. You could take it like just whenever Surratt came out, he had a massive game that game. He's
Yep.
like, okay, I'm gonna take my opportunity, and instantly jumped up in the roster to the number 3 receiver, maybe even the number 2 receiver over Omar Cooper. Although Omar Cooper had a really good game this game too. He's super elusive. I'm glad
Yep.
he's coming back. Or actually, no, he's not coming back. I don't know why I said that. He's not.
Charlie Becker's not.
No, Cooper. Cooper isn't.
Oh, yeah.
He's going to the draft.
Right.
Which he's good enough for. But like, just how Becker has just stepped up this season has been so much fun to watch. I have to pose a question now because I follow an indie sports page and they said who is the white boy of the year. It was Alec Pierce,
Yep.
Daniel Jones, T.J. McConnell, Charlie Becker, and
Tyler
that was
Warren.
no, it was just those 4.
Okay.
Those were the 4.
That was in Indiana.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay.
In Indiana, who would you say is your white boy of the year out of those 4?
Daniel Jones didn't finish, so that's a strike. So then Charlie, Alec, and who's the other one?
T.J. McConnell.
McConnell. I'm still partial to basketball, and so I would give it to McConnell for his energy. But yeah, and the other guys are so close that I flip it the other direction.
I simply go Becker just because he won it all. So
very true. That leads us to our final question or 2 here. Where do you think, as non-biased as you can be, where do you think this Indiana team ranks in the all-time greatest teams in college football history?
Everybody's saying they're above 2019 LSU. I disagree with that. 2019 LSU is the best college football team that we will ever see. But it's not really fair to compare the 2 either because of how many 5-stars were on that roster.
Yep.
How many NFL players were on that roster. There are NFL players on the IU roster because of what Kurt Cignetti could do. They were not 5-stars or 4-stars. The best you had was a 3-star. So I don't think it's fair to compare those 2. I think they're both equally as good. All time though, it has to be top 3. I honestly think, in my opinion, the top would go 2019 LSU, 22 Georgia, and then 2025 IU.
I would go there number 2 to that 2019 because it's sort of apples to oranges because of how it all went, and we'll never really know. But I will say this, that this season for Indiana is the all-time greatest sports story season.
Greatest sports turnaround.
It's better than the Miracle on Ice, the 1984 Olympics, I think it was. This is better than Glory Road and that Texas Southern. To me, this is because you have to remember, even this season, at one point this season, they were the losingest program in college football history. And in 2 years, this man has taken that team and turned it into an undefeated national champion. The first 16-0 team since the first infant years of football in
1864.
Yale. So there's that. You can debate where they sit, but to me, this is an all-time great story in sports.
Yeah.
Absolutely the best, in my opinion.
And just since we mentioned 2019 LSU, I gotta ask. A lot of people have asked me this recently. Who's the best college football player of all time?
The best college football player of all time?
Only college, strictly college.
The
I'm
best
talking
college
about pros.
To me, the best college football player of all time was Tim Tebow.
I agree. It's for me. It's always been between Tebow or Burrow. I think Tebow has the natties to back it up, and Burrow has one. So
Yeah, Tim Tebow's leadership and what he did for college football in that way, I think, is the difference maker to me.
I agree. Yeah. Just had to
So
ask that.
then the question it remains: is this a one and done for Indiana, or will we continue to see them at or around this level, or are they only going up?
I wouldn't say they're only going up. They're going up because they have credibility now. So I think next year they may even be better next year, which is crazy to say considering everything.
Yeah.
Um, I I will continue to say this. The players that IU has was amazing. But imagine what Kurt Signetti can do with 4 and 5 stars on his team. It is coaching. College football is about coaching. With the NIL transfer, with the NIL money, transfer portal, all that happening, your coach is more important than ever. In the NFL, I believe you can get by with bad coaching. Look at the Eagles. I don't think they're coached well at all. Yet they still won their division. They still got to the playoffs, at least. But coaching is the most important aspect in college football. And if you have one of the all-time greatest, yes, he will be one of the all-time greatest after he's done as a coach, then I don't know what else to tell you. Yes, they're going to keep going up because they won a national championship with 3 stars, and they already have 4 and 5 stars committing to them.
I would say that as long as Signetti is there, you have to consider them a top 5 team. I don't think there's anything, and right now they are, I think, 8th in the odds for next year's national championship winner. To me, they have to be considered in the top 5 as long as Signetti is there. But the only question, and I got this from Saban, the only question now is, you did this with guys from somewhere else who came there because they believed in what you did and they were hungry and wanted to prove something. Now, as you mentioned, you're going to get more people as opposed to you getting people who can help because they want to make the program better. Now you're going to have people coming there because they want to be better. Rather than for what they can do for you, now it's what can you do for me? And so how the question now remains, how can Signetti keep that same kind of intensity and energy moving forward with these guys who are highly recruited, highly touted, and how can you have that same kind of hunger and energy? I don't know that he can't do it, but as we say, only time will tell.
Yeah.
Well, that is all the time that we have for today. We'll be back tomorrow with our Keep the Pace weekly look at the Pacers basketball, and then we'll also have our Candy Stripe Clear Out look at IU basketball. And then we'll finish off the week with our Unstable Pick 6 NFL Conference Championship predictions.
Pick 2. Well, this is Liam.
And this is Kevin.
Reminding you to stay 365 Sports Indiana.
365 Sports